Hey everybody, XCI here for a new series of unboxing videos that is going to start with this one. It's for a game called Gloomhaven. I'll get into that in a second. I've been wanting to bring this kind of unboxing video to this channel since the beginning of this channel. These ones are for board games, so it's still relevant to the content of this channel. Hopefully there's a lot of board game lovers out there. I love indie design board games, Euro design board games, whatever, just like stuff with like real like substance to them. And this one in particular got my attention because I was looking for board games that you could play single player. So I'll get into all of that in a second. I'm going to show you the size of this box first, and then we're going to go from there. So okay, there's the size of the box. It is 9.7 kilograms. It is a heavy son of a bitch. It's a Gloomhaven version with minis is the one I backed. I'll show you the kind of page in a second. It does say one piece in there. My God, I thought there were more than one piece when I got it. It was a whole different game I was thinking of. As you can see, I've sort of already opened the lid because I started recording and my mic was not picking up the sound. I only noticed that about 10 minutes in. So the actual cutting of the box I was doing while talking about the Kickstarter page. Other details though, 881 of 4,000. Okay, so that's actually weird because I'll get to that in a second. Okay, hopefully my little table doesn't break here because of the weight of this damn thing. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna try to do with this series. I wanna really get deep into, you know, not only the unboxing, but like let's go through all of the pieces in here. I'm gonna try to not so much review, but just kind of my first impression of the stuff that came with the game. We'll talk about some of the elements in it. I have an idea in my head, but I mean I've never done this, so I'm sort of feeling this out as I go, and this will change as I do more of them. Now I have set up my capture software to be able to do stuff like this, and I am sort of excited about this because it allows me to save a lot of time in post because I don't have to add images like pop up on the screen and stuff, and I can kind of go through this experience live with you. It'll just be kind of a blind look at this of the unboxing, and just that gut impression and just the feeling I get. And we'll talk about just kind of the elements that excited me and why I backed something like this and what kind of won me over. So let's talk about this first page here. I don't know if you guys can see the details on here, but I will read them out where they're relevant. So the pitch of this game is that it's a board game of cooperative, card-driven tactical combat in a persistent, ever-changing campaign world, 1 to 4 players, 30 minutes per player. That is such an exciting pitch, just because at the time I was looking for single-player games. I had already seen it come up in some Euro games that were coming out at the time. I've never played the modern board games or like these kind of like indie design board games where there's like small run counts, especially with the help of crowdfunding. These kinds of things can actually get off the ground from prototype to development. This is a massive endeavor. This friggin' thing is enormous. We'll go through the Kickstarter page that was selling me. I was following this thing like I was devoted. This was a 2015 campaign. This was very early on. When I was pulling up this page, I actually realized that this game was relaunched already, so maybe with tweaks or like bug fixes, errata, that kind of stuff done to the game. We'll get to that in a second too. And this was created by Isaac Childress, and so I probably mangled that last name. I first heard of Isaac Childress because of Rattle Reviews. If you guys are board game fans, I highly recommend this channel called Rattle Reviews. I think it's called Rattle Reviews, or just Rattle. Anyways, the point is it's a guy who reviews games, who actually does gameplay of it. He does top 10 lists. He's impeccable for like finding new games and learning about them and what's out there and what's getting designed, and finding out about unique designers like this that are kind of hitting the space and really innovating on a lot of ideas that are out there. So I found out, I was watching a review of a game called Forge Wars, I think it is, and it seemed really robust, but the design of it was really simple. So when I saw Rado kind of run through it, and I was like, my God, that's really slick. And so then I found out that Gloomhaven was in prototype phase at the time when that game was being talked about, and I believe he had a prototype, or maybe, I don't know, I'm mangling my memories here, but I knew enough about Gloomhaven. Maybe it's because I followed this campaign. All of the updates were coming in my emails. Like, oh my God! Like I was really digging into this, man. So let's talk about some of the details here. This got 4,904 backers that pledged $386,104. So almost $400,000 pledged into this campaign with 4,000 backers. That's as you can see, that those are, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, when you think of the numbers, those aren't huge numbers, you know. So I feel like this game sort of came under the radar, because it was right off of the Forge Wars. It was really well known in kind of the board game community, but it hadn't really spread out there and reached a mass audience, which we'll get to in a second. My God. Or should I just do it now? I'll talk about it now. Sure, let's flip the screen real quick. Here is the relaunch of the campaign, a lot brighter, so it's flared out my face. But this is, I believe it was launched in 2017 or 18. I might have the dates wrong because I'm not seeing them on the screen. I don't know why that's in my head, but those are the ones, that's what I have in my head right now. So we'll validate it when I come across the information. Look at this though. All of a sudden, 40,642 backers, 3,999,795 dollars in backing. So 10 times the amount. So he went from 4,000 backers to 40,000. He went from $400,000 to $4 million. That's a pretty massive jump. So that was just in the 2 to 3 years, I suppose, of it getting out there, like how awesome of a design Gloomhaven is. So let's go through the Kickstarter page real quick before I pick up that box. So the reason why it's open, I don't know if I already talked about it, but I was cutting the box open while I was scrolling through this page. But even before that, I didn't even have this sort of setup where I could just show you as I was going through it. I was reading the page while opening the box. I felt like this was more engaging. You guys kind of see the page as I'm looking at it. So yeah. Look at great engagement. So these are the kind of things I want to look at because I'm running Kickstarters now, and it's sort of like, this is inspiring to me to kind of see how the success starts. And because I was I jumped on this thing when it was 4,000 backers to now 40,000 backers. You can just see how a span of a couple years can really get the word out there, like grassroots style. Crowdfunding is awesome for that kind of stuff. So you'll see I've backed the $79 package at the time. This was the Gloomhaven box set, so just the game here with minis. The other options were for standees instead of minis right there. Or it was this one, which I didn't, it was just for the miniatures. So I don't know, maybe he was at game fairs or something like that. So you could have bought in the board game. So if you already bought the board game, you could come here and buy minis. Maybe something like that happened. It was a very simple campaign, and that was it. It was three pieces and the $1 if you just kind of wanted to listen in and get updates, which is always great for that $1 tiers. If you like follow the creator, you just want to follow what's going on, you can do the $1 thing, and then you get the updates that come in from the campaign. So there you go. It's a 20, a 64, and a 79, and so that one comes with minis. So I'm not going to play the video. If you guys want to, I'll put the link down below in the description if you want to kind of really dig into this. If you want to give the creator a follow, I don't know how to do that nowadays. I think, you can click on this name right here. There you go. I don't know. It's weird now because then you have to click on this name. Can you guys see it on the screen here? Does this open the page? Something's loading. And then you can get to this. Come on. It's Kickstarter. Trust me, it's not my internet. And then you can get to this page, and then you can give the creator a follow. So you know what he's up to. He's created 4 campaigns. Now, I'm already derailing. This was not in the plans. Oh, God, please don't make me spend more money. Founders of Gloomhaven, a standalone city-building board game of tile placement and action selection set in the world of Gloomhaven. I'm not going to click that right now. Anyways, there you go. Forge War was where he started. Look at that. 1,700 backers. His second campaign, 4,900. I love seeing growth like this, man. It's so exciting. And then, bang, word of mouth happens. Yeah, it happens. I can't even speak. He hits a tipping point. Boom. Multiplier of 10. 40,000. Okay, I'll check out Founders later, but let's not derail. So let's look how the page layout set this thing up for, talking about the board game, because I've got my memories, but I sort of need to refresh myself for when I open this box and start going through the pieces. So welcome to Gloomhaven. It's a grim but lucrative business. Being a mercenary out on the edge of civilization, you must explore the harsh wilderness and engage in deep tactical combat where the decisions you make have an impact not only on your own character, but also the world around you. Let's stop there for a second. Let's go back up here. What sold me on this, because I didn't talk about the second thing that sold me. The first one was I was looking for a single-player game because I wanted to have a single-player experience. I've got a sweet setup here, but a lot of my friends have moved away. I don't have a chance to game with people. The next thing was this persistent, ever-changing campaign world. I'm like, what does that even mean? So when you watch this video, you get the sense of what this means. It means decisions you make, there's consequences to the world. You make decisions, whether you're playing single player or more people join later on, or whatever the campaign might be, the case might be. This board game evolves, it's evergreen. So the decisions you make have consequences on the board game that are permanent. What does that mean if you want to replay the board game later on? Well, you buy another board game. So, and you might think, Jesus, that's going to be very costly. Well, no, because a video game costs how much, right? And this is presumably hundreds of hours of play before you reach the end of the campaign maps. Whatever, you reach the end. Let's even put that in quotes because I don't know what that means. I haven't played the game. And so for me, it's like, no, I'd play, if this is like, say, 200 hours of play with friends, 300 hours, like how much is it? It's like 30 minutes a player. Okay, that's a lot of hours of entertainment, right? So, and I'll even go a step further, because this was a Kickstarter and it was $79 for Gloomhaven, the base set. As it started making more and more money, because it made way more than what it was asking for, right? So every time it hits a stretch goal, it was unlocking more and more and more and more and more things. That's how you got a 9.7 kilogram box of stuff. It's just it kept adding content. So the $79 actually paid for way more than I had agreed to pay for, and that's why Kickstarter is also awesome for these things, for the stretch goals. And so here are the base characters, I suppose, that you can choose from. We'll see what that means when I open the box. Gloomhaven is a cooperative game of card-driven combat set in a persistent fantasy campaign, which will change and grow as you play the game. So here's the stretch goals, just to kind of show you some of the excitement that was going on when I was in early, when a couple of these were already unlocked, but just me seeing more and more things unlock, I'm like, oh my god, like this is great value for like what I got here. So you'll see here, game funded at 70K. He was asking for 70K. I got 400K. All right, so after 70K, new scenario from a designer of Perdition Mouth. Like I've never heard of that game, so if you guys know if that's a good one or if you've heard of it, maybe I'll look into it now. I don't know. Random dungeon deck. So these, I guess they're just areas that you can explore. New character class gets added at 100K. 2 fan-made scenarios. Maybe that was an approval process. I'm not sure how that worked. I forget. It's somewhere in the updates. I think he kind of went into that. Monster stat envelopes. There's like these, the monster stats. We'll open this and we'll see, but I'm going to go off some memories here. They were designed as these like squares, and you could turn the squares around, and as you turn the squares around, that's where the design won me on this thing. It was sliced up. So let's say it was a square, and the square itself was sliced with an X, and so in each triangle was the monster and its stats. And so as you turn the square around, it actually changed the rating of the monster. It would go up in levels, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8. And so depending on the scenario you drew to encounter, you would turn the monster so the top referenced the monster you were going to encounter. And what these sleeve envelopes do is they would mask all the irrelevant stuff to what you're experiencing, and they would make you focus on just the monster that you're up against. So I thought that was little design things like that they're so sweet. So we got a new scenario here from the designers of Heroes Wanted. What a great idea, man. Just get other game designers involved in this experience, and all of that like grows your community, right? So another new class achieved at 150. 160 we got Town Records. I don't remember what Town Records are, but that will be interesting to take a look at. We got Versus Mode. I didn't remember that one either. Is that character to character? There's like PvP action going on here. We got upgrade tokens. Okay, I don't know what that means. We'll take a look when we see it. 2 fan-made scenarios. Same thing as above at 190K. Another new class at 200K. It's crazy. New scenario from Sadler Brothers. 1 extra ability card for each monster deck. So it scaled out the deck sizes themselves. At 230, 4 new career goals and 4 new battle goals. My memory of career goals. The idea of this game, which was also fascinating, is that you'd pick your character, but your character would have goals established. And I think these are drawn. I think these are random. You don't pick them. But you pick them, and then maybe? I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll see how much we can learn with the kind of the first impression kind of opening. So it was that you would have these career goals, and your character, when they'd achieve these goals, I don't know how many they were. I have 3 in my head, but I think it was variable too. But when they achieved these goals, they would retire in Gloomhaven or wherever the case might be. They would exit the game. you just finished. You couldn't play the character anymore. You could scale them as much as you want. Maybe they didn't scale all the way because they achieved their goals before you leveled them out and then you maxed them out. But they would leave the game, and by them leaving the game, it would start to unlock new things of the game. The things in this game were actually in envelopes, so you don't even know what's ahead. It's blocked from view. It's when you achieve these benchmarks, these milestones, these achievements, then you open these envelopes, and you have that. It's that sensation of like you get to experience something that you're rewarded for letting go of stuff that you've invested time into. That's unique to me because I almost don't want to do it because I'm like, no, and I don't want to put stickers on my map. I'm like, no, I'm going to be, that's the experience. So it's just me kind of wrapping my head around that new experience was also starting to get to me, and it made me want to learn more and more about this game and letting go of just being so careful about things and accepting that the money you pay for an experience like this, a game like this, it's part of the experience. You know, you go to the movies. How much do you pay when you go to the movies for 3 hours? For 3 hours is a long friggin' movie. But you know, you go to a movie that's like an hour and a half long, 2 hours long. What, you buy popcorn and pop? How much are you dropping? How many hours? That's like for 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and a half if you're going to a Marvel movie. You know, so come on, hundreds of hours, man. So just buy it again. Yeah, that's how I would buy it. Okay, so I'm derailing. Okay, let's keep going. Enchanting, don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. New character class again at 250k. 3 new perks in class. I don't know what that means, but okay. 1 extra ability card for each monster deck. Once again, scaling the deck that was already designed, scaling it out as these things unlock, and making the game more and more and more robust. The more that the word of mouth gets out there, and more money is made. New scenario here by Rob DeVio. I don't know who that is, but awesome. 2 fan-made scenarios, just scenarios. Another new character class at 300k. Sanctuary of the Great Oak. 3 new monster types plus 2 new bosses. The punch board mats and another secret, whatever that is. A pie eating contest at 400k. Didn't quite reach that, so no pie eating. I do remember those emails. All of a sudden, it's like that was funny. Okay, so let's see. Here's the box contents. This is like the end. This is when it was all over. This is what was all gonna come in. This is nuts. 12 plus 5 thematic hero classes. It's massive. So those are the bonus ones. So that's right away 17 classes. We'll see what that looks like when we open up the box. 30 double-sided interlocking map tiles. So we got some interchangeable, I guess. Well, based on what I can see from the prototype, it's kind of tiny for you all, but we'll open the box, we'll take a look. But it looks like they might be preset, kind of like Descent. If you've ever played the board game Descent, you'd have these adventures set up, or these encounters, and then it would tell you how to set up the grid and where to put your markers, and then you just play out that event. You play out that thing. Here's the 45 different enemy types, including 12 challenging bosses. So here's the square I was talking about, kind of tiny again for you all. But we'll take a better look. And here's the triangle. This is the one you're going to encounter, and then you can flip around. And so you're getting 4 monsters in one tile. That's such, again, slick design, like really maximizing the real estate of the table space, so that you're not just covering it with a bunch of stuff. Really, the economy in this is mwah. Okay. So over 300 attack modifier cards. We're all going to be familiar with these from other board games. I'm sure there's like condition tokens too. Yeah, right here. So there's condition tokens right here. Monster damage, experience, 150 tokens there. 6 wooden element tokens and an element track. I guess there's a track thing in here. I don't know what these element tokens are, but okay. 200 item cards. So that's for your character. This is almost like an RPG translated to board game. Like if I'm always running a tabletop, then I don't get to play. So this gives me the opportunity to have the same feeling as playing in a role-playing game by myself, but not with you guys, because I'll talk about that in a second. No, I'll talk about it now, because the goal of this channel would be to play something like this, have some sort of setup where I can have, I'm thinking 3 cameras set up, and I would be doing Let's Plays of board games. I would be starting with Gloomhaven, presumably, and I'll do it single player, but I will do it with you guys the same way I do video games, and we can kind of go through that experience. I can put some RP behind the characters that we pick, and maybe I'll make that, I'll leave that up to the draw as well, or vote, or I don't know how this game works. I think they might even be sealed, so I don't know how that works, but we'll kind of go through that experience together, so it won't even really be me playing alone. It's just we'll kind of like experience it, you know. So we have 20 plus 4 career goal cards, so it does look like maybe you draw them if they're cards, so maybe you flip them, and then 20 plus 4 battle goal cards. I don't know what that means, but maybe you have one career goal. I see one check mark here and then two here, and then back. So if you achieve like certain defeat goals, like if you I don't know, I'm inventing something here. I really am. So if you have like a paladin character defeats some named boss thing that's a demon, maybe that becomes one of your battle goals. I'm inventing stuff. 90s city and road events, so I guess it's random encounters when you're going between locations, or kind of maybe there's like there's time in between the locations you pick. Maybe that's organic. Maybe you pick when you want to go and investigate something bigger, like an actual like a quest. I don't know, quest board, like whatever that might be. Or maybe you just say, I want to go out into the wilds and explore, and maybe like what road you're on or what environment you're on changes. I don't know what cards you draw. I don't know. I'm inventing things again. We got the rule book here. We got the box, an interactive map board with stickers. I thought this was actually paper, not board, but that would make a lot of sense. It makes it a lot hardier. And then you put the stickers on the city. So I'm like, I remember like videos talking about it, or maybe it was the updates where something happens with some quest and then the city burns down, it gets destroyed, or it gets ransacked, or whatever the thing might be, and then it's off your map. You can never go there again, or it might be a city that is like it happened way over there and you never get to have encounters there again. It's out of your game. You'd have to buy the board game again and see if you could. It's almost like playing, honestly, it's like it's one of those consequence engine video games, right? You make decisions like a Witcher or a Dragon Age, or anything like that. So I think that's kind of, it's an exciting aspect to bring to board gaming. We have the Kickstarter exclusive thank you note. Oh, cool. We'll see what that is. And then what else? That's it. Anyways, we have some videos you can play here if you want to see how to play. I did watch these back in the day. That's kind of how I got even more hyped up about playing this game. It seemed like a lot of pieces, but it's the kind of game where, I mean, if you've grown up, if you played a lot of role-playing games, tabletop, you've gotten accustomed to reading, larger rule books for board games, and it just becomes, you look up the rule when you need it, and then you move on. And because card play, generally, like, these things are designed in a way where you flip a card, you read it, you just act on the things that you're interacting with, and so it's all very, if it's done well, very intuitive. Flow to it, so very easy to learn, hopefully crossing fingers. So here it goes. It talks about what all these pieces mean. We don't need to kind of go into details about what this is. Let's just scroll through some more of this so you can see the art and the design of these elements. Let's take a look at some of these cards. I'll get a better look, but if I recall these correctly, you read these out, these encounter cards out, just like tabletop. You've gotten to this location, you're setting the scene, you're talking about what the pieces are and what you can interact with, and then you can make one of two decisions. At least that's what it is on this card. It's an option A and an option B, and then whatever you decide, that's kind of, or your party decides, right? Something happens. You have your A outcome and your B outcome, and then there's in the bold here, you kind of, you get something for it. So every kind of interaction has, I don't know if they're always positive and positive or negative, or they can be positive, negative. I don't know. It all feels like it could be any of those combinations. So you never really know. I suspect that the more encounters you draw, if you ever have to reshuffle the deck, you're going to start to repeat these things, and you get a lot of cards. You get enough cards where you can, if you remember your A and B option on however many cards there are, you're crazy. So you want to try it out, you can go to Table Zen. I guess there's an interactive, Tabletop Simulator here. Cool. So you can get the Tabletop Simulator Steam Workshop mod here. Oh, damn. All right, well, there you go. From there, you can play around with it on your own, or sign up to be taught the game through this Google Doc. It's great stuff. Okay, the open lobby. So there's some stuff I hope is still going on. That'd be cool. An open world. What's this mean? Gloomhaven is deep and expansive. It is a game of exploration and discovery of branching story paths and decisions with real consequences. You always have a choice of which scenario to undertake next and which plot thread to unravel. More than that, though, there's plenty of content to support multiple game groups. If you want to play the game with someone new, you shouldn't reset the game, but instead just pursue a different storyline. Each party of adventurers will develop their own campaign, but everyone will interact with and expand upon the same world. Well, there you go. That's intriguing, because I didn't know how that dynamic works. So you literally could change your gaming group, but the world is what you're building together, regardless if you're playing with one person with your standard 4 people, or you have 3 games of 4 and there's 12. Doesn't matter. They're all in this world, they're all interacting, they're all doing things, and the world changes because of what anyone can do. And then when it's done, you buy another board game. There you go. So you got some reviews. Oh, this is the channel I was talking about right here. I highly recommend it if you're into board games and you kind of want to see what's out there. You want to get a sense of whether or not you want to either back a game, because Rado does get a lot of prototypes and stuff that he'll feature on his channel. Really sweet. Top 10, top 20 list at the end of the year. Really, I mean, really informative channel. Highly recommend it. Okay, so here's it talking about the 6 starting classes. So it looks like you have to choose one of the 6, and then this is the stuff I was talking about, where when you finish the goal, the career goal, I get that, was it called goal or career goal? When you finish that thing and they retire, they exit stage left, then you unlock other characters that you can play in the game. They're maybe more advanced. I remember some of the updates they talked about, like they get cooler and cooler, you know? And so you want to retire heroes so you can unlock these cooler and cooler characters. We have the Inox Brute here. There's a class of Inox who have abandoned their nomadic ways to embrace life in human cities, employing their great size and strength to earn a more comfortable living. I'll just read the first sentence of these. So these are the brutes, your tanks. Human Scoundrel. While many humans work to build up complex and constricting bureaucratic societies, there are others who reject such societies or even work to tear them down. So there you go, your rogue. You got the Quattril Tinkerer. The Tinkerer is a fairly common class of Quattril. I'm probably mangling that pronunciation, to be found in a large city. I'll read 2 sentences here because I didn't get enough there. They are experts in crafting all manner of gadgets and elixirs, and they typically make a living selling them to those wishing to indulge in the convenience these creations offer. So an artificer, that sounds cool. It does have a bit of an Everon vibe, doesn't it? Kind of like, yeah, anyways, it's neat. Orchid Spellweaver, so you're mage. You can sort of, I would suspect by the name, through deep meditation, or maybe psionic. Some orchids derive at the conclusion that proper actions require not only thought and discussion, but also force. Oh, what does that mean? So are you it's Spellweaver, ancient order of Spellweaver. So draw forth power from natural forces. Okay, so they're your mages. You have the Savas Cragheart, looks like a golem. Many Savas who never attain the mastery of an element and are exiled from the society, having no choice but to live among the other races or solitude. Before a Cragheart is exiled, however, they earn their name by having their chest cavity marred and shattered, forever reminding them of their inadequacy. I just keep reading this one because I'm intrigued, even though control their mastery fit in. So rock golems, I suppose, but it did say something here about what did it say? Exiled from their society. So mastery of an element. So are there different elementals, perhaps? And we have the Vermling Mind Thief. Remember this one in the updates. It looked fun. A psionic rat, I think. Often a city-dwelling Vermling will flee to the sewers to escape harassment. There, without their pack to connect with, hive mind, these Vermlings will form strong bands with the massive rat population. I would almost automatically choose that one. That one sounds awesome. Plus 11 additional classes. 11, I thought there were 5. So there was, Jesus. Okay, so there was 6 starting and then plus 11 additional. Oh, I see. Some of them were already additional because they were already sealed for that advanced or extended play or whatever. And then there were the new ones that got unlocked because of the stretch goals. So there you go. How to pledge. Okay, we got the 20, the 60. This talks about what your pledges mean, the shipping info. And so here we go. We have the Isaac Childress, the designer, is the driving force behind Cephalofair Games, which published its first game, Forge War. I've heard really good things about that one, by the way. But that was almost like, that led to like this thing going out of control. Isaac also designed and developed the game. He writes a weekly blog about board game publishing, design, and whatever else he is thinking at the time. So you get the link there. So again, I'll put the link in the description below. You can dig into this as much as you want. We got the graphic designer here, Josh McDowell. We got Alexander Elishev, the artist. The cover looks great already, and the cards too. If you did all of it, it looks great. Fascinating stuff. So we got the sculptor here. So there you go. Whew. All right, I am lightheaded. Let's take a look at this. Let's get to the box, shall we? That's like already. I did think this was going to get a little long because this box is so big. So let's take this off the screen and let's just let's get into it. Let's it's like Christmas. It's like it's kind of like Christmas. Okay, so first things first, it does come with it comes nicely packaged with some protection there, and that's as far as I've gotten. So as you can see, it's got the padding. It's got about it's got about, I don't know, 1 inch of foam core. I guess that's what this is called, around the blocks. And let me just pull this out and come back. Okay, so here we go. Here's the monstrosity of a box. There's Gloomhaven. Let my camera focus. Jesus. 10 kilograms, man. What is that in pounds? That's like 24 pounds, man. 24 pounds of board game. Jesus. All right. Nice glossy finish on it. It looks really good. Let's see what's on the back here. Did I flip it the right way? I did. So standard to have all the pieces, like kind of a shot of all the pieces, a little bit of a summary on the back here. I do want to take a look. Sounds pretty cool. So it says, "Welcome to Gloomhaven. Being a mercenary on the edge of civilization is anything but easy. For those stupid or brave enough to leave for the relative safety of Gloomhaven's walls, adventure, wealth, and fame await in wild and shadowy forests, shadowy mountain caves, and long-forgotten crypts. Just don't expect anyone to pay for your services up front, because no one expects you to come back alive." And that talks about it being a cooperative game of tactical combat in a unique, evolving fantasy world. Each player will assume the role of a hardened mercenary with their own personal motives. Together, players will fight through a campaign of scenarios that reacts and changes based on the player's actions. I can barely hold this box up while reading it. Creating a unique game state full of discovered treasure, retired adventurers, and permanent choices. Each scenario offers players deep tactical decisions where ability cards have multiple uses, and using the right ability at the right time can mean the difference between success and failure. Gloomhaven offers a streamlined tactical combat without dice. I love it. I love it. Against fully automated enemies, each with their own unique behavior patterns. In this box, players will find a fully realized fantasy campaign experience of unparalleled scope and depth. Cool stuff. So this thing is taped shut. I'll be right back. Let me open this up. All right, here we go. Open sesame. Come on. You can do this. You can do this. I believe in you. I believe in you. There we go. Okay, the lid is up. Oh! Just an immediate impact of new board game smell. There are chemicals seeping out of this box. It's been sealed for so long. Oh, I feel something that I'm not. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, that breaks my heart a little bit. So, I mean, maybe it's because the box is so heavy. It tore up here. I'm going to have to tape that shut before the seam breaks. It could be the size of it. I'm not sure how that would have happened, though. Is it on any? Oh, I'm kind of I love preserving all of my boxes, man. I treat things with care, love and respect, baby. All right, so that would it makes me feel a little bit sad, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is I'm smelling here, man, but I mean, if it smells good, but I feel like it's dangerous for my health. Oh, it's pretty stuff already. Okay, so anyways, let's pick up the first book here. I will say right off the bat, this cover feels super thin. Oh man, I feel like I'm dissing the game, but I really don't. I don't mean to. But it's just the interior pages are really tough material. But this cover, I feel like, and I only say this, it doesn't really matter. It does matter to me, but it matters because I feel like someone's gonna grab this by the cover and it's immediately gonna tear at the seam. So I'm a little bit worried about that. And it's great design though. It does remind me of like piezo material. Let's see if I can stop getting the glare. It's probably my monitor right here. Let's turn this sucker off. We don't need this. There we go. Less glare maybe. So yeah, it's got the page texture in the background. The kind of nice like header work. I like it. I'm a big fan of Paizo Publishing in particular and their design from when they were doing Dungeon Magazine, Dragon Magazine, and then of course the Pathfinder stuff and yeah, the Adventure Paths, and yeah, they just do great work. So okay, so just taking a couple looks here. So it looks like this is the scenario book. So you can see a couple scenarios. I'm kind of covering them, but here. So you got 4 Crypt of the Damned. So it does look like it is descent-based dish. So you set up your board. the way that they tell you. I'm assuming all these tiles they're obviously in the box because of the size of it. Jesus. It does tell you where to place objects, and I suppose that's how everything starts, and then you just execute on the adventure. Now, I will read the... Should I do the... I won't read it all, but just to kind of explain how this works, based on memory and in kind of intuitiveness is what I'm kind of gonna go on. I'm gonna see how intuitive things are to understand just without reading any of the rules. So you can see right away this is almost it's not almost, it's reminiscent of tabletop gaming. If you've GM'd anything, this automatically looks familiar to you. So it sets up the introduction here. The bandit commander's proclamations of a gloom do not sit well in your stomach as you search the bend in the still river. Something here holds an interest for these maniacs. You are somewhat surprised to find the ruins of an ancient crypt half covered in moss and ivy. The history of this place is old and dark, with no other information to go on. You head down into the depths. Whatever these supposed bandits are up to, you're determined to find out, even after you stumble across a large group of them and more animated dead at the bottom of the stairs. You've made a mistake coming here, one of the bandits hisses. You disagree. You are right where you want to be. And so you kick down the door thinking you are prepared for anything, and of course the thing kicks off. You do your thing, and then it gives you the conclusion text. And it says basically what you get out of it. You get your rewards for it. New locations open up here, so the ruinous crypt will open up. So D6, whatever that means. And decaying crypts. So I'm thinking there's things on the map that you start to check, like open up. Places you can go to, and so that this encounter, this quest, ends up being a chain of stuff. It creates a narrative through the experience of the board game. So yeah, man, it's entirely full of these extra plots here. Let's just flip through some more. I don't want to give any of these away because, of course, I think you're supposed to come at these blind. I definitely want to come at these blind, so the less I know, the better. There's no real other level here. Oh, actually, I just noticed something on here. Let's stop on this one for a second. So up here on the top, here, see if I can. So up at the top there's like requirements and goal. So I think that's kind of interesting. So again, from an intuitive perspective, how much is this, like, making sense? Well, requirements here say city rule, demonic, global. So there must be something that you trigger based on completing a sequence of things, reaching some end of some chain or something, and it creates some rule or some world state where it says city rule, demonic, global, complete, and annihilation of order, global, incomplete. So there's a couple, I see. So there's like one that's city rule, demonic, and then there's annihilation of order. These are these states? These are cards that happen, or these are world states, I think, that happen. And then so one has to be complete, the other one has to be incomplete. That's the only one this is the only way that this can be available, I suppose. And then the goal is loot all treasure tiles. So it's not necessarily defeat all the enemies in there. It's that you have to do whatever the thing is telling you, and yeah, that's how you clear the board and you move on. Again, just a bunch more to look at. I'm at 76 already. I'm at 81, 83, 88. Jeez. Okay, what's at the back here? 92, 93, 94, 95. There are 95 of them. And then we have something called a treasure index right here. And it says, do not read this information except to reference the contents of specific numbered treasure tiles that have been looted. So I think as you loot things, based on the numbers here, you check them off, and and that's it. So I mean, I don't want to read these. Obviously, it just told me not to. So it looks like that's spoiler material. So we're done with those pages. But that's interesting. It means there may be unique items that are only available as you play, sort of thing. We have Gloomhaven, the rule book. Yeah, that covers. That's. It's a little thicker, a little safer. So it gives you all the pieces that are in the game, kind of like an IKEA manual. I swear to God, I think I just double paper cutted myself. I fear paper cuts worse than putting a dagger in my throat. Anyways, table of contents, pretty thorough. It almost looks like a mix of table of contents and index page. Gives you all the page numbers and stuff. Makes it very clear and easy to find where all of these things are. Again, if you've done tabletop gaming, if you've either as a player or a GM, but if you've done it as a GM, you know how to kind of skim these things and find what you need to find. But yeah, this is talking about the character sheets and how they work, how they come together. Ability cards explains how the ability cards work. Yeah, they go into the equipment, so there's like all your action types and stuff like that, or your item types, which I believe it'll make it clear like what you can have on you and how to set that up around your character. You have your monster tiles, which we talked about already. Let's flip through some more of these. Tons of decks. And then what else? We have, what is this? Game variant, open information, and solo play. Okay, so this one was going to be important for me to read here. I mean, I would love to do it with people, don't get me wrong. I have a friend who's actually doing this with a group right now, and he loves it. He's invited me over, but I mean, I want to do it. I want to play my game. I would play it. I will see. I only have so much time. So, yeah, single player game. Let's see what this says, because it's important for this channel too, because if I do it. A single player can play the game as a solo experience by controlling 2 or more characters. Oh, I see. So no. This is like if you want to play, if you're a single player but want to play more than one character. I see. That's the variant. Part of the game's difficulty, however, comes from not knowing exactly what the other characters will be doing on their turn. Because a solo player has precise information about what each character is doing and can coordinate more effectively, the game becomes easier to compensate for this. I see. So it's just a change of how the output of the reward output works because of... that's really cool that was taken into consideration. Yeah. Because of like not knowing sometimes, like the way that strategies can change on you does change the difficulty to a certain degree. So so determining initiative, this is all looking like tabletop right now. Character turn, area effects, it's using the hex model, so yeah, that's pretty intuitive. The defender bonuses, attack bonuses, also very standard tabletop. Attack effects, we have your conditions, the standard condition table, your poison, your hold, your wounds, immobilize, yeah, the curse, invisibility, strength, stuff like that. Elemental stuff, which we know there are tokens for. Let's see what else. Recover and refresh stuff, so that's like your end of turn stuff too. So that's like how to refresh your deck, and you'll know, like in Magic, right, you tap your card and then your refresh phases, you untap all the stuff. Other card games do the same. Other board games that are card based will do the same. You always go through your refresh round, and that's you resetting your board on your side so that you can go into the next action. That's I mean, when you go diceless, that stuff is like key, man. I like leaning that out and making it slick. Woo. So you got monster movement, so that's how to work the map. You have your campaign map and explaining stuff about how it works with the stickers and how stuff shuts down. You have your player character sheet, and then it just starts going into what all the different decks are and what they yeah, what they're like, how to read them and whatnot. Random item design cards. You got a random side scenario cards, city and road event cards. So we're not going to go too deep into what that means. We'll just do that when we play. And then you have sealed envelopes. So quick page on sealed envelopes here, which I guess we'll take a look at when we get there. Town records. This is, I don't remember this. So a game box. The game box also includes a small sealed book titled Town Records. Players are directed to open this book once the first character retires, at which point they can begin reading the book from front to back. At certain points in the book, players will be directed to stop reading until certain conditions are met. Woo! That's so exciting. It is exciting. And then you have achievements. Okay, that's what I think that stuff we read, the stuff with the thing we just read, the requirements. Global achievements and party achievements. So global achievements affect the entire world, regardless of what party is playing on it. That's the whole thing where like you can just change your people, like the people who play the game, but your world changes. So I guess there's like ribbons or something that start to get put on the map, I suppose. And then playing a campaign. After every scenario, whether it was a success or failure, players have the choice to either return to Gloomhaven or to immediately travel to a new scenario. In the case the players immediately travel to a new scenario, they must complete a road event. Okay, so that's the road encounter event. So it's when you decide to go out, you have to do something in between. So maybe you start getting worn down, and like Gloomhaven is like a reboot point too for recovery, or where you can work on other things. There's something called reputation here, so maybe reputation is a part of it. Visiting Gloomhaven, I see. Creating new characters, completing city events, buying and selling items, leveling up your characters. Whew. So you got to go back in order to do all those things. Okay, that's cool, because it's like you can stay out there as long as you want, but if you want to level your character, you better make your way back to town. That's neat. Okay, leveling up, additional perks. I don't know what that means right now. It doesn't matter. Building a hand of cards. Okay, so there's yeah, you can build your deck. To maybe they're like, I don't know, actions or equipment. And like the Pathfinder card game does a really cool job of all that stuff too. That's something you can play solo play too, which I would. It would be cool. Okay, the map. Whew. I'm lightheaded. I'm lightheaded. Things off. So there's the map. It is sturdy. Look at the thickness of that. It's really sturdy, man. So there you go. So as things change, stickers go on. Prosperity. I guess you mark stuff here, whatever that prosperity, maybe Gloomhaven proper. Anyways, there you go. See what that means. Woo! Can't wait to wreck ya. Can't wait to wreck ya. Town records. Little booklet here that they were talking about. There's the seal right there. There's a sticker on it. So I mean, if you don't know though, you just buy this game. Imagine people who buy this game and they start opening everything. They just open everything without reading how this actually works or aren't aware of it. That's actually something I just thought of. Like, that's not very intuitive. Like, if you... Was it at the back? Yeah, it's not at the back of the box. It tells you that it's like kind of like the idea of it. But if you didn't hear this from word of mouth, you pick this up at like, I don't know, a gaming fair or something, and then just open it like, oh, all these seal things, rip, and it's like, oh, what? And then you read the rule book. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Ah, damn it. Anyways, here's the party sheet. It's a thick notepad, but I mean, there's very little you have to fill out. So I mean, you just print these off, you know. But yeah, there's a couple of those. I don't know what these are, but they're sealed. There's your A envelope, sealed, little tiny thing. X, the best envelope, am I right? Sealed, and B is a little bigger, also sealed. Let's put those away. Okay, now we have our stickers. There you go. So as you can see, it looks like they already indicate what, like the roads and stuff and the passes. So these are like cities that will start to become visible on the map as you unlock things based on the scenarios that we kind of like highlighted. These locations open up, and then you can visit these locations. They all have a number on them, which associates to the bigger number on the side here. So you can probably call them out when you're deciding what to do. And there's another half sheet. Maybe these were the bonus ones that came after. I don't know. What does that say at the top? Location stickers, sheet 2. Now maybe it just didn't fit on a full sheet, but there you go. Sheet 2. Okay, here we go. That's what these are, huh? Global achievement stickers. So they look like banners, and I guess you stick these somewhere. Are these little guys? No. These big ones got to go somewhere. Don't know what they are, but or where they go. But there you go. They're tiny little stickers. I have no context right now. But, so I don't know if they go on characters, because I would assume it has to be somewhere permanent. They do something permanently. This is that Kickstarter exclusive thingamajig. So it looks like a little postcardy thing, Gloomhaven. There's sickles on the back of it, and a write-up. Let's read it. All right, I just want you to take a second to behold the grand, hefty form of this game. It is absolutely grand and heavy. My legs are going numb. The myriad cards, the numerous punch boards, the giant book of scenarios. This is my crazy vision, the game I dream about. It's a game that shouldn't exist, but you made it happen. I am not a big company, and Kickstarter is not a pre-order system for me. The only way I could create this monstrosity was with your support, and for that, I give you my deepest, most heartfelt thanks. You made my dream come true, and I'd like to show my appreciation for that. To the left, you will find a simple substitution cipher key. Throughout the game, you may find cryptic messages, and the key should help you discover their meaning. Now go forth and enjoy playing Gloomhaven as much as I enjoyed making it. Interesting. So those little sigils there, they're an alphabet cipher and a number cipher. So things show up in the game, and you get more context. I think the lore of this game is probably going to be pretty sick too. Okay, let me... yeah, I think half of this box seems to be the board punch-outs. So let me just pick a few and highlight them here. I am getting intoxicated. Oh, it's back and front. Okay, sure, I'll show you this one now that I've called that out. So there's a massive tile, and then of course back and front. Again, really maximizing the fact you're going to print something out. Maximize your opportunities, man, to like double up, not just make it white backs. So it looks like there's maybe monsters or traps. Ah, don't punch them out. No. You're going to warp matters. We'll put it all in the box nice and tidy. All right, let me pick a couple more. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. So there's like, it still takes advantage, of course, of, you know, that's a thing, but then look at all the monster tiles. So these are your monsters you fight. So let's take a look. Look. Oh, no, I don't have to look at, well, it's too dark from the rear. So You got some elemental undead things. You got some... Oh, these are PCs, right? Because that's your golem. Right? Did I see the little dragon somewhere on the cover or something? Am I going crazy? Nah, he's on the cover. Let's see what else. You got got some barrels. You got some Cthulhuid-y kind of things there. What's that little fish dude? Is that a fish dude? It is, the walking fish mouth thing. Anyways, there you go. You got some monsters. This one's loaded with a ton of status. Oops, don't punch it out, I said. We got some status tiles right there just to punch out, have some fun. These, I mean, this is always fun to punch out, but then, man, the box is going to get all weird and stuff. Right now, it's all just nice and tight. Let's leave it that way until I'm ready. I'll figure it out. The extra verdant dudes are. Oh, there you go. The woodland warrior right there. You got some fairy creatures in there. Maybe a wraith, I'm guessing in reverse. I don't know what I'm... Yeah, that's about right. I guess it's sound. Ooh, so I got a big one. A big one. We got some maybe boss creatures. Got some dragons, maybe a nightmare in there. Some demon dudes. Another Cthulhuid eye creature thingy. More demons. There you go. Hopefully, is that focusing? There you go. Cool. All right. Oh, I see that right there is the... I didn't understand this thing. Oh no, I punched one out. No, my life is ruined. Anyways, so that's the where you put your element. I don't know how that works. Is that for? It says inert, waning strong. Maybe that's for like powering up spells or something. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna keep inventing things and... Oh, damn it. 2 things now got punched out. Are you happy? Are you happy? Okay, here we go. Here, let me just show what this looks like. First, so there's the box. It's got some padding. All of those guys, I'm assuming, are your envelopes of characters. Let's take a look. Oh, my God. Where do I even start? Okay, let's start with the decks. So we have big cards and small cards. So we have the city deck. These are standard card sized. And here's the write up there. So it's just like tabletop. You decide to unwind at the sleeping lion, but just as you are starting to relax, a bear of a man crashes into your table, scattering your drinks across the floor. Hovering nearby is a massive Inex. What did you say about my horns? Anyways, I'm not going to read the entire thing because I don't want to give anything away for later, but there's the option A and option B choice. Come on, focus camera, and the reflection is a pain in the ass. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Option A, join the fray. These insults will not go unanswered. Option B, do your best to stop the fighting. This is a respectable establishment. I would probably RP my decisions. Let's be fair. Absolutely, I will come up with some RP scenario. And this is not the response for that card. Obviously, there's quite a decent stack in there. I'm not even gonna read them because it's gonna have no context. But the rewards here is like, for example, gain 2 reputation, lose 2 reputation. So whatever's on the opposite side of this card. Obviously, one thing was a good idea, the other thing was not. So you never know, I guess. I love Choose Your Own Adventure. I have a massive collection from when I was a kid of Choose Your Owns. I love them. I love them so much. I want to reread them actually. Okay, so we have your road cards, your road encounters. Same setup. You got your big block of text there to give you like flavor. And then you have your option A, option B. And then you have your reward system or penalty, whatever the case might be. Lose 1 check mark each. Oh, the check marks I believe were like goals and stuff. So you can actually reverse. You could actually reverse your progress, your character's progress. Damn. Gain 1 prosperity. Gain 5 experience each. Damn. All right, so things can go south. We have a Seeker of Zorn. What is this? What are these? Are these? Okay, I got it. These are your goals. Seeker of Zorn. Even as a child, you could feel the call of Zorn. Once worshipped as a god, his flock has long since been destroyed and disbanded, but you can hear him calling. You will travel to Gloomhaven as he commands. You will find his remains and set him free. The plague will once again be embraced. Complete 3 crypt scenarios, then unlock Nauseous Cellar, scenario 52, and follow it to a conclusion. Unlocks envelope. Oh, and then it gives you a symbol. What are we looking at here? Oh, snap. Okay, got it. So in this case, it would unlock See that symbol down there in the bottom? Right there. So it unlocks this envelope. That's how you unlock characters. There you go. Damn, you gotta finish these cards. Then you unlock them. So exciting. And then, oh. Okay, so this has an A here. So that's probably important for when that A envelope opens up. For what? There's probably A, B, and X in here. They actually cover. I guess this is just a condition card. Looks like more of a yeah, it's a player reference. Yeah, player reference. So it looks like they hide what's in here. Well done, well packaged. Anyways, that's the last deck. So this must be the A, B, and X deck. So whatever these are, there's probably special like unlocks from whatever might be happening. Okay, so yeah, let me put some of these away before I continue. Actually slot them in properly. Okay, so I should talk about how that. Well, I'll show that after when we're done, because stuff isn't in position right now. Things were kind of just in these little buckets, but it looks to me like the buckets are perfectly sized for the width of these cards, of these different size decks. So anyways, let's pick up some of these small decks. I've seen other games do small cards like this. Is it Pathfinder? Has small cards? I don't remember. One of them has. It wasn't Pathfinder. It's a different game. But anyways, here's the comparison. So you'll do these mini cards in these games. Here, let's actually put the perspective right. There you go. So all of these are item cards, and it's a pretty healthy stack. Oh, there's oh, I don't know if it's like, I don't know, they have a different color background. These little, so there. These might have been bonus. I don't know. They have a blue background though, so maybe not. I don't know why they're packaged in a separate pack, but there you go. There's your items, and then we have stuff here. Stone Golem. These are monster cards, I guess. Living Bones. It's pretty healthy length of stack of cards there. Yeah, it says monster right there, the design, if I could stop the glaring. And then it's the very simple, you can't really, God, I can't get rid of that light. There you go. Pretty simple design. Your move, your attack for Living Bones. +1 modifier, -1 modifier. Keep it simple, man. Keep the action flowing. It's pretty good. We have this tiny deck here. I don't know what it's for. It's probably road, maybe. I don't know. It's got bricks on the one side, and it says Streamliner on the other. Have 5 or more total cards in your hand, and discard at the end of the scenario. Okay, it has a check mark on there, so there might be something to do with the goals or something, but this might be how you like how to build your hand. I don't know. Again, I'm inventing stuff, guys. Don't take my word for it. I've never played the game. I don't remember what I watched. It wasn't as refined. The thing I watched was a prototype or something. It was just talking about how it was going to all come together, I think. I don't know what these are either, but they have a compass on the one side, so it's likely locations. 63. These might be bonus locations. I feel like this one's in a different package where I can't open it without. I'm going to do it. It's like one of those like sticky envelopes. That was like a post thought. It's not sealed. These all look like new locations. They look like the stickers. So these might have been. Let's check out some of these. I'm sure it doesn't matter if these are shuffled. So let's just give a couple of look. Couple little city locations that I literally just shuffled back to the top one that was already there. Yeah. So simplest art just to indicate what they are, and then it gives you the name. Toxic Moor. Well of the Unfortunate, an island too small to read, windswept highlands. So there you go, a couple new locations. I don't know why they'd have separate cards though, unless I'm not. Maybe there's another deck in here that's for locations. Let's see. No, so I don't know what those are for. We have stuff here which +0, so maybe that's how instead of dice, right? Because that's like likely your combat deck. So maybe you draw, or maybe you have these in your hand. So I don't know. I haven't read the rules. I keep on floating off camera, man. Yeah, you maybe have a stack of these. I forget what game I played once where you have you do pull them on at random, but then you have a couple of these modifiers, and you choose which modifiers to use when, and then you draw more on your refresh. So it could be something like that. We'll find out when we play. Did I get through all the little cards? I did. All right, so let me just deal with this. It's OCT. Excuse me. Must do it now. Oh, even in terms of like, are these the same? Oh, they are. No, they're just slightly off. This one's slightly bigger, and there's one row that is slightly bigger to allow for it. Okay. Anyways, we have these like standees. So that's a pretty neat thing. It's a simple like quality of life, benefit, but I don't know what these are. But there's like these little leaf things. I don't know what they're for in the game though. We have your elemental things. Kind of read about them quickly, but I have no context. We have our monster tiles. So let's get a closer look at how these work. So as you can see, you have your monster, and as you turn it around to different sides, it becomes like a level 6, right? And then if you turn it again, it level 7. So it depends on what the campaign calls for. And front and back. So again, economy is it's like double the monsters in there, right? Double and then a quadruple, right? So you like the multipliers are insane there. That's like you really maximize the design. And cool, there's the envelope and how they work. So you put these guys into the envelope, and then you only pay attention to the stats that matter because they end up on top, and then the radial down there. Not entirely sure why they matter, to be honest, because it only shows the monster in the center, right? The monster would show in the middle there. So I don't know what the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is. Oh, the level. Oh, what? Let me see. Oh, I see. All the envelopes are different, so it probably matters. It's to show the scale of the monster, and it likely matters to some event or something. Maybe they can scale or something, and so maybe you pull it out, you turn it. You know what I mean? I'm inventing stuff because I can. Because I'm blind and because I can to all of this. Now, they're all sealed. Okay, so I can't even open up one of the core. I could, because it's one of the core characters. My point is, like, I don't know if it's random, and so I'm not going to open them up. So we're not going to see that on this video, because I would rather do it when the game tells me I need to do it, so that if it is random, I'm perfectly happy playing single player and pulling random. Now, I did see something like this. There's like these little things, and I'm assuming that these are the miniature. I don't need to assume. It's going to be pretty obviously the miniature. I can feel them. Now, I am going to open up this box because it's not sealed. So this is probably your character sheet to see stats and stuff, and probably tell you like a couple little things that probably best to experience blind. But I am going to open up. This one was first in line, so I'm going to open up. Oh, it says 1 of 2. Why does this guy get 2? Whoa, then. This one's, here. So hold on, I will talk about that, because that's interesting. So these two had the same symbol, and I only saw late, it says 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. So maybe there's an evolution that happens to this character. See what I mean? Like, there's stuff that you want to be careful not to do, because I don't want to ruin, like, the experience, man. I really appreciate the blind experience. I don't know if you gather that from the Let's Plays and stuff. I spoiler dodge everything. If this doesn't open easily, I wasn't going to open it. I was like, I'm trying too hard, so it's probably sealed. Okay, let's see what the miniature is. Yay! I hope this is the first one. Anyways, it's a little rattling. Vermin and I would love to play this character. The only character I played in, oh my god, I don't even know the name. That's how little I played the game. It's embarrassing. League of Legends. I had a friend that wanted me to play League of Legends constantly. And I mean, I wanted to multiplay something. And I'm like, okay, let me just see what the game is like. Let me see what the characters are. And then I saw the rat. I forget his name, and I had to pay for it. I'm like, I'll pay for it. I just let me play the rat. I just want to play the rat, dude. That does his thing. And he's like an Arcanist rat thing. He was funny. He was a little hard to play, though, for a noob. Like, I guess he was a bit of an advanced class. I'm probably being a noob just by saying that, because it's probably not true. But anyways, I had some difficulty, like, learning the game, playing him. But I refused to play anything else. I'm like, nope. I'm playing this guy. I'm going to learn this guy. So yeah, I'm stubborn, and that's just the way it is. So there you go. That's the unboxing of this game, and I will see how it all comes together for playing it. Like, I'm really excited to do it. I don't have the time to pull it off right now, but I'm really excited to do it. Just because it's something that I feel like I haven't really seen. I've seen some people playing board games on YouTube. I've seen that, but not in the same kind of nature as like a Let's Play sort of experience. And I don't know. I would like to find ways of getting the community involved. So I would like to do it as a live stream, so that the live stream helps contribute to the experience of being at the table with a bunch of people. And then, it would just kind of have me, I mean, if I'm making a mistake, maybe people catch it. I'll try to have enough cameras on the components of the board game so it feels like you're there with me, and that's my goal. So I don't know how to do it, but that's what I'd like to figure out. I don't know, within the year, I suppose. If you follow the channel, you know why that my time limits are a thing right now. But one day those won't be a thing, and I'll be able to figure out how to pull this off and bring this to the channel. Let me just put this away because I'm making a lot of noise while talking. Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to bring this to the channel. Let me know if it's something that excites you. If you guys have played Gloomhaven, leave some comments down below. Let me know what your experiences have been like with Gloomhaven. Obviously, don't spoil it for me or anybody who hasn't played Gloomhaven and is going to, especially after watching a video like this. If this has sort of excited you, it's excited me more by opening the box and seeing all the pieces and the fact that they were sealed, that I want to unlock them. So, yeah, if you've had experiences with Gloomhaven, let us know in the comments below. And I do know that this is coming out as a video game, by the way. There is talk happening of possibly bringing this to the channel as a co-op. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't know how it's going to shake out and the timing of things, but that's a plan. That's a plan. I would do it if I had someone to play with online, but this one in particular I would like to do as a let's play board game of Gloomhaven, single player. It says it's half an hour a cycle, so that'd be great for timing. It might be like a 1 hour episode. It'd be no different than the stuff that's happening with the Let's Play video game series stuff. So yeah, there you go. Check this out on Kickstarter as well, in case there's like anything new that comes up. Like we just saw earlier, I just found it live, that there's the expansion now or something for it. So maybe as part of a tier on that one, you can get the box set. It's going to be costly by that point, especially because there's probably way more pieces in it. This is the first edition, so I'm assuming the remake of this had a couple extra pieces, and then that expansion is going to have some more pieces. And at the beginning of this episode, looking at the price that I paid for this one, the 79, I thought it was hundreds. I thought there's one coming in. I don't think I have it right now unless it's the one on the floor. There's one I paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for because it was a beautiful game, a beautifully designed game that just blew up. And so it got nuts with the expansion pieces that came out from the stretch goals and stuff. So I got all the add-ons. It's going to be crazy value. So you know what? $80 for this first game, this is a massive deal. I can't believe I only paid $80 for this game, because of how much I've been paying for some of the other boards that are I'm looking at the boxes, they're way smaller than this thing, man. And I've paid more than this thing. So try to get on some of these like board games early on. I know I'm going off track here because I do get excited about the board games that are on the crowdfunding platforms right now. There's some impeccable ideas that are going out there, and maybe like they're not perfect up front, right? But like being an early backer to those early board games designs, like you just become part of that experience, and it's sort of exciting, like kind of watching a game grow. Even if it's got to get kinks worked out, and even if there's like a errata for this thing, I'm sure it's online. Like if there's bugs with the way that things are written, I'm sure there's something I can download online and print it. That usually happens for every game that gets put out there, but there's just something exciting about finding a board game on Kickstarter, especially the ones that they're not asking for a lot. They're really just trying to break in, and you're going to get it for under $100. You're going to get a board game, a designer board game, and you get to be there on the ground floor. For when it blows up, you can say I was there on the ground floor. I was on the first campaign. Anyways, that's kind of exciting to me, just because I like supporting artisans, and I do find like these kinds of things that sound so pretentious, but that's not how I meant it. I love people who just take risks. You have an idea, like I have a game I would love to design. I've already started. I've got some ideas on paper and stuff like that. It's not a massive board game, but it has potential to scale. But I'm really trying to like harness the idea of simplicity, but with scalability. And this is way too much, but this is the kind of stuff that inspires me because it gets me thinking about that. Even like outside of board gaming, like the fact that someone like just went for it. They built a prototype. They got people together to play test it, and then they got a crowdfunding together to make it happen, and they got someone to make the minis and print the stuff and do the book. It all gets figured out, and sometimes you got to jump into the deep end, and I really appreciate people who take those risks. So that's why I support crowdfunding. I encourage you to kind of take a look at. You start with the link I put down below, and then just explore and see what's out there, and yeah, maybe it'll inspire you. So with that, because I sort of slid into that one, don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire everybody. Peace.